Welcome to Suman TV Education. Today, I will be teaching you a topic, frustum of cone. I will derive the formulas for volume of the frustum and surface area of the frustum. Surface area in the sense, total surface area as well as the curved surface area. So, this is Sunil Chauhan. I will be taking you through frustum of cone. Now, you might have already learned about cylinder, cone in your previous classes. So, let's look at the structure of a cone first. So this is a cone. If you divide this cone horizontally into two parts, be it equal parts or unequal parts, it doesn't matter. So suppose if I divide this cone into equal parts or unequal parts, the lower part of this cone is called as frustum. So this part is called as frustum. Now if I draw it separately, how would I get it? If I draw this part of the cone separately, I will be getting a shape which is in this way. So this is called as frustum of the cone. Now, where have you seen these kind of shapes in your real life? Exactly. So the buckets that you use at your home, but they are of inverted shapes. So this is a bucket. Which is the inverted shape of the frustum. So you call both the shapes as frustum only. So if you extend this line, this is called as, if you extend the slant heights of this frustum, you will be forming a proper cone, right? Cylindrical cone. So now how do we derive the formulas for volume of the frustum, CSA of the frustum and TSA of the frustum? You already know what is CSA and TSA, curved surface area and total surface area. So what will they give in the examination? They will give you, so let's look at this diagram. It has two bases. One is the top base, which suppose say small r is the radius of this base, and the radius of the bigger base or the bottom base, suppose say capital R. And suppose say the slant height of this cone is small l. And the height of this frustum is supposed to be small h. Now, how do we derive the formula for total volume of the frustum in terms of h, capital R, small l and small r? We are going to derive the formula for volume and CSA of the frustum. So, we have a proper cone where the base radius is capital R and you have a frustum inside this cone. The top base radius is smaller, the bottom radius is capital R. The height of the frustum is small h. The total slant height of the cone is capital L. The slant height of the frustum is small l. So what are we given in the question? We will be given only small r, capital R, small l and the height of the frustum is small h. So we want only these four terms in the formula of volume of the frustum, CSA of the frustum and TSA of the frustum. But we don't want capital L and capital H. Fine. Because they are the part of the bigger cone. They won't be given to you in the question. So only the parameters that are related to the frustum will be given. Small r will be given. Capital R will be given. Small l, which is the slant height of the frustum, will be given. And the height of the frustum will be given, which is small h. So we want to derive the formula for this frustum. Now, how do we derive the volume? So let's try to derive the volume first. Volume of frustum. Now, when I say volume of this frustum, you know already what is the volume of the total cone. Now, if I have to find only the volume of this frustum, what will I do? I will subtract the total volume of this bigger cone minus the volume of the smaller cone. The smaller cone is at the top, the bigger cone is the whole cone. So, is equals to, what will you say? Now, let's try to write the parameters of the smaller cone as well. So, smaller cone, slant height will be how much? If the total slant height is capital L and the slant height of the frustum is small l, the slant height of the smaller cone will be capital L minus small l, capital L minus small l. Okay, and what will be the height of the smaller cone? The total height of the cone is capital H. The height of the frustum is small h. So the height of the smaller cone will be capital H minus small h. So capital H minus small h. Now we got all the necessary parameters, but we will try to eliminate capital H and capital L because that will not be given in the question. So volume of the frustum will be nothing but volume of the bigger cone, volume of bigger cone minus volume of the smaller cone. Volume of the smaller cone. Now what is the volume of the bigger cone? 1 by 3 pi r square h. R square h, where r is the radius of this base, which is capital R square. And what is the height of the bigger cone? It is capital H minus volume of the smaller cone. This is important now. So minus 1 by 3 pi into radius or radius of the base. The base radius is small r. So small r square into what is the height of the smaller cone? Height is capital H minus small h. So I'll write it as capital H minus small h. Now we will try to simplify these terms. So 1 by 3 pi can be taken common. So I'll take 1 by 3 pi common. 1 by 3 pi, I'll be taking it common. And I'll have capital R square h. Please make note of the capital H and small h wherever it is possible. So capital R square h minus, I have already taken 1 by 3 pi common. And I will be left with r square capital H. R square capital H. Minus into minus will be plus. So it will be r square small h. R square and small h. So this is the volume of the frustum. But we don't need what? Capital H in the values. So I will be taking capital H common. So what will I get? 1 by 3 pi into, if I take capital H common, I will be getting capital H into capital R square minus small r square. Capital R square minus small r square, and I already have plus small r square h. Plus r square small h. Now how do we eliminate the value of capital H? So if you look at this cone, you have two similar triangles. So one is the smaller cone and the other one is the whole bigger cone. Now for the smaller cone, we have the base as small r, the hypotenuse as capital L minus small l, and the third side will be capital H minus small h. For the bigger cone, what all do we have? We have capital H as the height, the base as capital R, and the hypotenuse as capital L. Now these two triangles are similar triangles because this is the common angle. So this will be common angle, this will be common angle. This is 90 degrees, this will also be 90 degrees. So according to angle similarity, we can see that these two triangles are similar to each other. So when do we say these two triangles are similar? If all the sides are in proportion, or we can say that if all the sides are in proportion, these two triangles are similar, or if two triangles are similar, all the sides are in proportion. So we will take the corresponding sides. Capital H minus small h divided by capital H will be equals to small r divided by capital R, which will be equals to capital L minus small l divided by capital L. Now this is the condition that we got according to the similarity of the triangles. So we want capital H in terms of the known values. So if you take these two relation, so capital H minus small h by capital H equals to small r by capital R. We don't require capital L because we don't have capital L anywhere. So according to this equation, we'll try to find the value of capital H. So if you take the inverse of this, what do we get? Or if you separate it, capital H by capital H minus small h by capital H is equals to small r by capital R. Now capital H can be cancelled, so I can write it as 1 minus h by capital H is equals to small r by capital R. Okay, so I can further write it as 1 minus small r by capital R is equals to h by capital H. So what will I get? Small h by capital H is equals to capital R minus small r divided by capital R. But we want the value of capital H. So what is capital H now? If I take the reciprocal of this, capital R divided by capital R minus small r into small h. So this is what I get, which is a important condition to substitute in this equation. So suppose that this equation is 1 and this equation is suppose say 2. So from 1 and 2, after substituting the value of capital H, we get 1 by 3 pi. I'll substitute the value of capital H as capital R divided by capital R minus small r into small h. And I already have capital R square minus small r square, which can be written as, this is in the form of a square minus b square. So I'll write it as capital R minus small r into capital R plus small r. And I already have plus r square h. Now I can cancel out capital R minus small r and capital R minus small r. So finally I'll be getting the volume of the frustum as 1 by 3 pi and capital R into small h, capital R into small h into capital R plus small r plus small r square h. If you further simplify this, what do we get? 1 by 3 pi capital R h into capital R will be capital R square small h plus R h and small r. So capital R small r and small h plus r square h. Now can we take the small h common or the factor out small h throughout the brackets? So I will be finally getting 1 by 3 pi small h into capital R square plus small r square plus capital R into small r. This is the final formula for the volume of the frustum. Now capital R is known to us, small r is known to us, small h is known to us, small l is known to us. But the volume of the frustum is always independent of the slant height of the frustum. So this is the derivation for the volume of the frustum. So we will look at the curved surface area of a frustum derivation in our next class. Hi, welcome back to Suman TV Education. Now let's look at frustum of a cone, where I will be deriving the formula for CSA of the frustum of cone. This is Sunil Chauhan. Welcome back to Suman TV Education. So in the previous classes, we have learned how to derive the volume of the frustum of a cone. In this class, we will try to derive the curved surface area of the frustum of a cone. So what is curved surface area of the frustum of cone? It is only the area that we will be able to touch at the slant heights. Fine. If you want to find the total surface area, it will be curved surface area plus the bottom circles area plus the top circles area. So that is not difficult. It will be pi small r square plus pi capital R square. If we add this to the CSA, we will get the TSA. So ultimately we are supposed to derive CSA of the frustum. So curved surface area of frustum. What will be this? So here, if we look at the curved surface area, we can say that it is the curved surface area of this bigger cone minus the curved surface area of the top cone. So curved surface area of bigger cone minus curved surface area of the smaller cone. Curved surface area of smaller cone. Now here it is quite visible that this upper part is a smaller cone, the whole thing is a bigger cone. Fine. So what is the CSA of the bigger cone? The total cone. It will be how much? It will be pi RL. So pi. Now what is the radius? Capital R. And what is the slant height of the bigger cone? Capital L. Minus CSA of the smaller cone. CSA of the smaller cone is pi. The radius will be smaller. The radius of the smaller cone is smaller. And slant height will be capital L minus small l. Capital L minus small l. If we apply the distributive property, what do we get? Pi capital R capital L minus pi small r capital L. And minus into minus will be plus. It will be pi small r into small l. Pi small r into small l. Now, what are the terms or the variables that we are not supposed to include in this formula? What is that? Capital L. Because capital L will not be given in the parameters of the frustum. So, we will try to eliminate capital L from this formula. So, if I take capital L common, what do I get? So, I can take capital L as well as pi common. So, I will be getting pi capital L into capital R minus small r. Capital R minus small r. And I already have plus pi RL. Pi small r into small l. Now, how do we find the value of capital L? Again, we have these two similar triangles as I have explained you in the previous class. So, what will be the value of capital L? So, from these two triangles, these two similar triangles, what do we have? Capital H minus small h divided by capital H is equals to capital L minus small l divided by capital L equals to small r divided by capital R. Small r upon capital R. Now, what are we supposed to find? We are supposed to find the value of capital L. Correct? And small r and capital R are already known. So, we will be taking these two relations. Now, if you take the first thing into account, it is of no use because we don't have capital H and small h anywhere in the formula. So, we will take the values which have slant heights and radius. So, if you derive this as capital L by capital L minus small l by capital L equals to small r by capital R, what are we going to get? Capital L and capital L will be cancelled out. So, it will be 1 minus L by capital L equals to small r by capital R. So, what is the value of capital L that we will be getting here? So, small l by capital L will be equals to 1 minus small r by capital R. So, small l by capital L will be equals to capital R minus small r upon capital R. But we want the value of capital L. So, here capital L will be equals to capital R by capital R minus small r. I am just taking the reciprocal of small l by capital L. So, it will be capital L by small l will be equals to capital R by capital R minus small r into small l. So, if you substitute this second equation in the first equation, what are we going to get? So, from 1 and 2, what do we get? So, CSA will be equals to, we have pi into capital L. So, pi into capital L is capital R by capital R minus small r into small l, and we already have capital R minus small r into capital R minus small r, and we again have the term pi small r small l plus pi small r small l. Now, if you cancel out capital R minus small r and capital R minus small r, what are we going to get? Pi capital R into small l plus pi small r into small l. So if you factor out pi and small l, we'll be left with capital R plus small r inside the brackets. So this is nothing but CSA of the frustum. So this is CSA of frustum. What will be the TSA? You have to just add pi small r square and pi capital R square to the CSA. So TSA will be equals to CSA, which is pi small l capital R plus small r plus pi into small r square plus capital R square. Small r square plus capital R square. So this is the derivation of TSA of the frustum of cone and CSA of the frustum of cone. We have already derived the volume of the frustum of cone. And remember one thing, the TSA and CSA are always independent of the height of the frustum of the cone, and the volume of the cone or the frustum volume of the frustum of cone is always independent of the slant height of the frustum of the cone. Now let's try to derive the slant height of the frustum of the cone. And I will also tell you the trick to remember the volume of the frustum of cone, CSA as well as TSA of frustum of cone. So if you take this diagram, I'll take it as a trapezium. This is small r and the base is capital R. The slant height is small l and the height is small h. But we need small l. So if I shift this height parallelly to itself, I'll be getting a small right angle triangle here. But what will be this distance? It will be capital R minus small r. So this is capital R minus small r. So finally I'll be having a triangle which is having a height h and base capital R minus small r and the slant height as small l. So if you have to find the slant height of the frustum, it will be L square is equals to small h square plus capital R minus small r whole square. Now small l will be square root of h square plus capital R minus small r whole square. That's it. So this is the slant height of the frustum of cone. And as I told you, I will tell you how to remember the volume, CSA and TSA of frustum of cone. So take this diagram specially. So I will write volume, CSA. See, if you remember CSA, it is not difficult for us to get the TSA. So I will write the volume of cone and frustum. So this is a trick to remember actually. So you already know what is the volume of cone. It is 1 by 3 pi r square h. And CSA is pi r l. Now if you remember these two formulae, you will be able to remember the volume and CSA of the frustum also. So volume of the frustum will be, always remember, it will be 1 by 3 pi and small h. We have small h, and in brackets you have, see, if I take 1 by 3 pi and h, what is left over? Capital R square. So in place of capital R square, we will be writing capital R square plus small r square plus small r square plus capital R into small r. So this is what you need to remember. Only in place of capital R square, if you substitute this value, you will be getting the volume of frustum. And how do you remember CSA? In CSA, what will you take? Pi L common. So pi into what is the slant height? Small l. And in place of capital R, you will be taking capital R plus small r. So this is the CSA of frustum of cone. Now if I have to write the TSA, what will it be? You don't have to worry about the cone. it will be pi RL plus pi capital R square. But we need for frustum. So it will be CSA pi small l into capital R plus small r plus pi capital R square plus small r square, which is nothing but the area of the bottom circle plus area of the top circle. So this is how you remember the formula for TSA, CSA and volume of frustum of cone. And the slant height is square root of small h square plus capital R minus small r whole square. So this is all about frustum and the derivation of the formulas. We will meet in the next class with a new topic. Thank you.